Hey y'all, welcome back to another weekly lesson. Grab your guitars and let's dive in. So today we're talking about the number system. How can we quickly get around navigating the number system? You might have been in church or you might have been on a gig and someone said go to the 4 or go to the 5, the 6, And so oftentimes we don't really understand what we're playing. And so we'll break down that subject there so you'll be able to jump and play, the 4 or 5 in every key, or even the 7 or whatever you want to call. So let's break that down and let's get an understanding of what we're doing. All right, so we'll start in the key of C, and I'm just going to play the major scale for you. All right, so in the key of C, our 1 is C, 2 is D, 3 is E, 4 is F, 5 would be G, 6 would be A, 7 would be B, and now we're back to C again. Okay, so if we know the scale degrees, we know the numbers. For example, if I say go to the 2, if I'm in the key of C, the second note in the C scale is D. So I will play a D chord there. If I say go to the 3, after D is E. So the third degree of the C scale is E. And so forth. The F would be the number 4. The G would be 5, 6, A, and then the 7, B. Now we're back at C. Okay, so the next step is to find all the chords that are diatonic in the key of C. So to make a C chord, we play C, E, G. So you might be familiar with this chord using the traditional chord shape. We can play that several ways. So if we're going to play the first inversion, that means we're going to start on the second note of that chord. So instead of starting with C, we'll start with E. So let's start with E here. So with the C, E, G. So we have our E, G, and now our C again. And so you want to be able to do this over all your chords. And so now we need to know the tonality of that chord. So when we're working with the major scale, the 1 spells out a major chord. And so if you just simply skip a note in the scale, so we start with C, we skip D, and we select E. We skip F, and we select G. So that's how we build our first triad, C, E, G. So now let's go to the D. All right, so we have D, we skip E, we go to F, we skip G, and we go to A. And so now we have a D minor. So I won't go through all those chords for you, but trust and believe that if you do it on your own, you'll figure this out. So your 1, your 4, and your 5 would be major. So in the key of C, you have C major, you have F major, or you have G major, or your 2, 3, and 6 are all minor. So we just saw a D minor. We could play that several ways. So D minor. All right, your E is also minor. So that's the third degree of the scale. And then your 6 is also minor, so that's your A minor. So A is there. right, and finally the 7 chord is diminished. Or so now let's say you were playing, just in a regular chord progression. They say go to the 4. So we can quickly find the 4 in any key. So let's start with our C root note. So I'm going to start on the E string. So my 6th string here. I'm on the 8th fret. So if we play the C major scale, so we notice the 4 in the key of C is F, is right below the 1. And a whole step up, we find the 5. So we kind of make this little box here. All right, so let's look at the root note on the A string. So the same applies, right above the C is the F. So the 4 is right above the 1. Whole step up, we have the 5 or G. But if we go down, right above the C is the G, which is the 5. Right below that, a whole step would then be the 4. So everything you need is right there in reach. So when you learn the number system and you learn how to quickly navigate and find the 1, 4, and 5, you can pretty much play most contemporary music. Alright, so I'll build a quick progression. And so we'll use still the key of C, and we'll see if you can figure out those chords. I'll try to use my root note on the A strings. So I'll start just by walking up the scale. I'm going to walk up to the 4. Alright, so now that we know our 1, 4, 5, we can now choose how we want to play that, the tonality of those chords. We know that the 1, 4, and 5 are all major. So let's play with just a standard major progression, and then let's see if we can change it up to make it churchier or bluesier. So that was simply 1, 4, 1, 5. We can do that in several positions. Alright, so let's say we want to make those bluesier or churchier. So we can simply do that by adding the flat 7. And so what the flat 7 is if we go up the scale, stop on the 7th note, so that's in the B in the key of C, we'll flat that and we'll get a B flat. So let's go back to that first C shape. Alright, so here's our 7. That's B, and now let's flat it. So now we have here, this is our full bar shape of the C. Here's our 7, and let's flat that. Alright, since we know this shape already, and we know that our 4 is right below the 1, Yeah, that's the 4 right there. It sounds churchier. And now let's go up to the 5. 4. Back to the 1. Let's do it without 5th string root. So starting on the A string. Alright guys, so this was a quick lesson on how to use the number system to navigate and to find the 145 quickly. So this was foundational information. It wasn't as flashy, but it's definitely going to help you to move around quickly and to better understand your neck. I'll see you next time.